Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. 60% is the accomplishment percentage of drinking water supply project for the people of Al-Jabal Al-Akhtar. For the first time in this year, Oman oil price reaches $57 per barrel. And the United Nations condemns the deliberate starvation of civilians as a war tactic in eastern Ghouta near Damascus. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to President Milos Zeman of Czech Republic on his country's National Day. 60% is the accomplishment percentage of drinking water supply project for the people of Al-Jabal Al-Akhtar. The total cost of the project amounted to 24 million Omani riyals. The trial operation of the project is expected to be at the end of 2018, and its works will be completed by March 2019. The project includes a water supply network at a length of 130 kilometers as to provide 1.76 million gallons of drinking water daily to the citizens of Al-Jabal Al-Akhtar. The project will contribute to activating the tourism sector in Al-Jabal Al-Akhtar and preserving the groundwater reserve in the area. For the first time in this year, Oman oil price reached $57 per barrel. According to Dubai Mercantile Exchange, Oman oil price increased by 86 cents compared to yesterday's price. The average price of Oman oil November delivery reached $54.02 per barrel, thus $3.63 higher than the price of October delivery. Ibra Technological College in the Governorate of North Sharqiya celebrated the graduation of 752 students in the disciplines of engineering, business studies and information technology with diploma, higher diploma and bachelor degrees for the academic year 2016-2017. The graduation ceremony included graduate speeches who expressed their happiness for graduation after hard work and efforts they exerted during the years of study. The graduates will join the labour market with determination and aspiration to be a partner in the development march. At the end of the ceremony, His Excellency Hamad bin Sulaiman Al Ghuraibi, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources for regional municipalities, handed over the graduation certificates to graduates in all disciplines. Patient-friendly hospitals is one of the global initiatives that the Ministry of Health has given a great attention to due to its importance in developing the performance of public and private health establishments. Buraimi Hospital officially launched the initiative and joined patient-friendly health establishments in the Sultanate. This came as part of Buraimi Hospital's policies to develop its quality of service and implement patient safety standards. Teams were formed in its various medical departments and specializations to follow up the implementation of these standards. On the sideline of the launching ceremony, an exhibition was organized displaying work mechanisms followed in the hospital and initiatives implemented in order to provide health environment as per applicable standards. Still to come in our news bulletin. A great white shark was filmed playing with a remote surveying equipment on the ocean floor of New Zealand. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The United Nations condemned today the deliberate starvation of civilians as a war tactic following the release of shocking images showing severely malnourished children in an area near Damascus besieged by Syria's military. UN Human Rights Chief Zaid Ra'ad al-Hussein said the pictures were a frightening indication of the plight of people in eastern Ghouta, which has been under siege by government forces for more than 4 years. Eastern Ghouta is one of the areas covered in a deal between rebel-backer Turkey and regime allies Russia and Iran earlier this year to create de-escalation zones. One of the aims was to facilitate aid access to besieged areas, but humanitarian conditions remain dire in Eastern Ghouta. Zaid also accused armed rebel groups in Eastern Ghouta of restricting the work of humanitarian organizations. Eastern Ghouta, which lies outside the capital Damascus, was once a prime agricultural region. Egyptian security forces killed 13 militants in a shootout today in the country's western desert, a week after a deadly shootout between policemen and militants southwest of the capital, Cairo. The Interior Ministry said 13 unidentified bodies were found as security forces combed the area following the shootout. They were found with firearms and ammunition in their possession. Today's shootout took place in an area farther south from the region where 16 policemen were killed a week ago in a brazen ambush by militants. Egypt's government has been struggling to contain an insurgency by militants led by a Daesh group affiliate that is centered in the northern region of the Sinai Peninsula. The country has been under a state of emergency since bombings and suicide attacks targeting minority Coptic Christians killed scores earlier this year, which were claimed later by the Daesh group. British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said it is unthinkable that European Union citizens living in the United Kingdom might be sent away or lose their rights after the country leaves the EU. Asked by reporters in Portugal today about EU citizens' rights, a key issue in Brexit negotiations, Johnson said he cannot imagine circumstances in which the 400,000 Portuguese or the 1 million Poles in the UK are going to be asked to leave or to have their rights damaged after Britain leaves the bloc. He told a news conference during a brief visit to Portugal today that the British government would like to see the negotiations with the EU proceed more swiftly.
We don't think, as far as we understand the matter, that we can't do that as long as we have this delay from our European.
Russian security forces cordoned off a residential building in Balashikha city just outside Moscow after the discovery of a laboratory believed to be used for the production of explosives in the building's basement. Demining operatives were alerted and were conducting investigation into the nature of the laboratory. Firefighters and police are also on the scene. The building has been completely evacuated and residents were placed in buses. No arrests have yet been made in connection with the finding. The world's first unmanned large transport drone made its maiden flight in China. The flight took off from an airstrip in northwest China's Xi'an city, capital of Shanxi province. The delivery drone AT-200, developed by Chinese Academy of Sciences and other institutions, made 2 circles in the sky and flying for 26 minutes while being monitored by scientists. About 12 meters both in length and width, the drone had a maximum carrying capacity of 1.5 tons and a flying height of some 6,000 meters. The cruising speed of the cargo drone was 313 kilometers per hour, and it is capable of either taking off or touching down within a short distance of 200 meters, which facilitates taking off or landing in mountainous regions and is also regarded as an important function for transportation on islands. Researchers from a New Zealand university have released a video of a great white shark playing with a remote surveying equipment on the ocean floor off the country's Kermadec Islands. Adam Smith, a Massey University scientist, said researchers were surveying for sharks as part of a worldwide effort called Global Fin Print when the footage was captured in July. He said the shark was attracted to the tuna bait in the canister fitted with the remote camera in waters off the islands. The 4-meter shark can be seen biting at the camera repeatedly on the ocean floor, then moves on when it realizes it's not food. Smith said the shark was probably on its migratory routes between New Zealand and the tropics when it stopped to find food.
We put a couple of R-clips on the back to hold that firm, and then the bait attracts the animals.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Sharqiya and Worcester and coastal areas of Sea of Oman. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. 60% is the accomplishment percentage of drinking water supply projects for the people of Al-Jabal Al-Aqtar. For the first time in this year, Oman oil price reaches $57 per barrel. And the United Nations condemns the deliberate starvation of civilians as a war tactic in eastern Ghouta near Damascus. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.